Hi, I'm Rabbi Dunner. Welcome to my weekly Erev Shabbos Dvar Torah, this week for Parshat Ki Tavo. A few years ago, I read about a new study that was compiled by researchers at the London School of Economics, LSE, in cooperation with a team at Erasmus University Medical Centre in Holland. The conclusion fascinated me. Apparently, the secret to sustained happiness can be found in long-term participation in religious activities. Is that crazy or what? But it's true. The study analysed 9,000 Europeans, all of whom were older than 50. The reason they went for this older age demographic is that it would be impossible to draw any conclusions about sustained happiness if it was a bunch of 25-year-olds. The researchers looked at 4 different areas: volunteering or working with a charity, taking educational courses, participating in religious organizations, and participating in a political or community organization. Of these, only participating in organized religion was associated with sustained happiness. Interestingly, being part of a political or just any other organization diminishes a person's happiness over time. I'll tell you something else amazing. The short-term benefits of belonging to such organizations can often lead to depressive symptoms later on, as involvement fatigue and disappointment inevitably set in. But, and this is the main point, while it is unclear whether the benefits of participating in religion are connected to being part of the religious community or to the faith itself, association with a faith-based community leads the way, literally. It's number one in providing people with a kind of happiness that we all strive to achieve. And this happiness even continues into old age, when for health reasons or other reasons you may have cause to be miserable. In the meantime, 2 philosophy researchers, one from the University of South Carolina and the other from the University of Chicago, were recently awarded a $2.1 million grant from the John Templeton Foundation to look into the connections between virtue happiness and the meaning of life. The reason they got the Templeton grant was because a bunch of small-scale sociological and psychological studies all indicated that happiness leads to better physical and mental health, higher productivity, and overall life satisfaction. The aim of the project is to understand how happiness results from the cultivation of virtues such as justice and fortitude, and why these things contribute to a sense that one's life has meaning. And rather than relying on standard contemporary scientific research approaches, the 2 academics have decided to use methods employed by philosophers and religious scholars in order to get into the mindset of those who are most likely to embody such qualities and have benefited as a result. It struck me as I read all of this that perhaps it casts light on an inexplicable declaration that appears in the Torah portion of Ki Tavo after a hair-raising list of all the terrible things that might happen to the Jewish nation if they don't keep the mitzvahs in the Torah. Moses adds an even more terrifying statement. These terrible events will act as signs and wonders for you and your descendants forever, because you didn't serve God with joy and with a full heart. The implication seems to be that in addition to observing all the mitzvot, you have to do them all with joy, with happiness, jubilantly. Otherwise, your wildest and most frightening nightmares will come true. But isn't that unfair? What about someone who observes all the mitzvahs diligently, but doesn't always do them in such a happy mood? After all, we all have a bad day from time to time, and might not enjoy the fact that we need to get up early for shul, or that we need to find kosher food in some far-flung location, or that we need to ask the rabbi what we could do in this or that situation. But we still do it. So what if we were a little bit reluctant, not such a good mood, we were grumpy about it? But now that I've read about these studies, I get the point. It has nothing whatsoever to do with occasional grumpiness. That is only natural. And in the big picture, a negative moment is inoffensive and unimportant. But if it is a fact that having faith in God and belonging to a faith community causes one to be a happier person and to be more content with life over one's lifetime, if anyone opts for a life without God on the basis that this will make them happier, it will be demonstrated to them via their own underlying misery that their choice was a mistake. The decision to do away with God is just a rationalization people use to enable them to pursue their material desires or power or some other seemingly attractive but ultimately unrewarding objective. What is so incredible to me is that something science is only just now beginning to recognize as evident was already embedded into our most sacred scriptures more than 3,000 years ago. And even now, there is deniability built into the scientists' conclusions. Even the researchers refuse to confirm their own findings, saying that it was not clear to them whether the benefits of participating in religion are just because one is a part of a community or because one has sustained belief in God. Who cares? Let them doubt whatever they want. I am 100% certain that a life devoid of God, even if one is deeply involved with charities or politics, or is highly successful in a profession or in business, is never going to be as happy as a life that includes God and in which one does things because of God. Over Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we will repeat countless times, "Inscribe us in the book of life." This year, when we utter those words, it may be worth remembering these studies and what type of life we are requesting. And it's a life that will make us all very happy. Thank you so much for watching. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.